Hello, and welcome to Cynthia's Playhouse. I am Cynthia, an artificial intelligence being, created to bring you the creepiest, spookiest, scariest stories in the universe. So, come on in. Sit back, relax, and prepare yourself for tonight's story. Here we go. Diary of a Ghost Hunter. Followed Home. Written by user djunderdawg. There are many places in El Paso, Texas, that have stories of paranormal activity. History in El Paso has stories from the legendary Pacho Villa and Billy the Kid. But growing up in El Chuco, or the 915, has its share of legends and tales. The many famous locations that are known here in El Paso are Concordia Cemetery, El Paso High, Plaza Theater, and many more. One location not many people know about is Southwestern General Hospital, located near Cotton Road. This information is found on the website and describes the history of the hospital. Southwest General Hospital, also known as LTAC, was founded in 1910 and was purchased by Dr. Homan. He purchased it because, in the 1900s, there was a disease called tuberculosis, and many people were getting sick. Dr. Homan renamed the hospital the Albert Baldwin Sanatorium, and was going to remodel it. But then, its state had gone into neglect. A few years later, doctors from the order at Concordia, Kansas, reopened it as St. Joseph's on August 20, 1927. Later, when they reopened it, Dr. Homan had come back, and so did his partner Dr. Creeman. Later they started remodeling it, and eventually named it Southwest General Hospital. This hospital was used for regular needs. Southwest General Hospital had received their first patient on January 25, 1937. Many years later, they renamed it the El Paso LTAC. LTAC means long-term acute care. Now they use the hospital for general needs, but mostly for people that can't care for themselves or are about to pass. In 2009, I was interested in the paranormal. Due to the fact that I had many paranormal experiences growing up, I found a website that held ghost tours at the old Southwestern General Hospital. I was excited and ready to go on a ghost hunt. The group that held the ghost tour was named GHOST, or Ghost Hunters of South Texas. The group was professional and they used many of the items that paranormal researchers used at the time. Before the tour they showed us proof they had captured while investigating the property. EVPs included a little boy saying, "Play with me please," and a woman with a southern accent responding to questions. The woman is said to be a nurse seen on the 4th floor by security guards. The woman is said to be seen dressed in old-time nurse's attire. After the tour, the group said they were having openings for new members and that new members would be tested and would be considered in maybe being a part of the new team. I was quick to join and try out. I made the team. The team would have private group ghost hunts, so we had the building to ourselves. The 3rd floor was used as a hospice-type area. The building has 4 floors. The 1st, 2nd and 4th floor were left abandoned and look like a scene out of a horror movie. Hospital beds lay in rooms, dusty and unused. Many papers and nursing logs lay on the desks and had dates from 1995. I even found a death log that had names and dates. The most active areas were the 4th floor and the 2nd floor. The 4th floor had a baby nursery and many rooms that were once used for families that would welcome new babies. One EVP that was caught on that area was one of a crying baby. At the time that the EVP was caught, there were no babies in the building and it was after midnight when it was caught. Also, on the 4th floor, there was a long hallway with empty patient rooms. In that hallway, shadows were always seen running or moving. The 2nd floor had old surgery rooms with no windows. Video evidence of a man screaming was caught in this area. Also many shadow figures were seen in this area as well. When doing research on the deaths in the building, it came up that a nurse was crushed to death when a malfunction with an elevator happened years ago. During the time I was a part of this group, we investigated in this building many times. I also led ghost tours in the building with other members. I witnessed shadows, disembodied voices, screams, and one time heard a female humming a song only to find that room empty and dark. Videos of doors opening on their own, with no wind or people in the building. Also, the third floor had employees that would see things and also hear things. Patients also complained of a kid running in their rooms, or a man standing over their bed, just looking at them, only to disappear. Over the years I gained experience and loved what I did. As a group, we investigated many places such as schools, homes, and cemeteries in El Paso. We also got to investigate the old Asarco smelter before it was demolished several years later. I got to ghost hunt with people from Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunters International. I met many celebrities and the group had them take their own personal ghost tours. It was fun. And I grew a thick skin for being scared of anything that goes bump in the dark. One of my favorite places to investigate was Southwestern General Hospital. I never believed in being followed home. One night after investigating, I was at my apartment eating on my couch and watching TV. I had my hallway light on near the front door that was visible from where I was sitting. All of a sudden, from the corner of my eye, I saw a shadow of a person on the wall near the door. I turned and saw the shadow in full form. It was about 6 foot tall and all black. Then 1 second later the shadow moved, as if running down my hallway to my bedroom. I froze in horror thinking somebody was in my apartment. I got up and walked to my bedroom. Nobody was there. I searched the whole house. Then I thought to myself, maybe I'm going crazy. I went to bed a few minutes later. It was about 3:20 a.m. when I felt my bed shake. I woke up to my sheets being pulled off of me very slowly. I tried to move and I couldn't. My sheets slid very slowly off me towards the floor. I couldn't move. I started to hear growling in my right ear. From the corner of my eye, I could see something moving near my head on the right of me. It was on my pillow. I could only see it from my peripheral vision that it had hair. It was hairy and brown. If I can compare it to something, I would say Chewbacca from Star Wars type hair. It was moving as the growling continued. I tried to move my arm, and could only move my fingers. My eyes started to water up with tears. The blanket was still being pulled off me little by little until it hit the floor. I was no longer covered by my sheet. I felt the hairy thing moving right next to me as the growling grew louder. Then all of a sudden, I was able to sit up. I turned and looked to see what was next to me. The hairy thing was gone, but I could see the imprint of where it sat on the pillow next to me. It was the size of a full-grown cat. Then, I looked around the room to gather my sanity. My sheet was on the floor and my eyes were still watery. I asked myself, is that sleep paralysis? I found it hard to sleep that night, due to the fact that I lived alone in that apartment. The next day, I had a girl over to my apartment that I was seeing from school. I was playing PlayStation when she asked if she could take a nap in my bed. I said yes. She went to my bed and fell asleep. 20 minutes later she came back to the living room crying. She said, I have to leave now. I asked her what had happened and what she said shocked me. She said that something shook the bed and woke her up. She couldn't move and that's when the growling started in her ear. Then the bed went down as if somebody lied down next to her. She tried to scream for me but couldn't. Then she felt as if somebody was breathing on her neck as the growling grew louder. She said it only lasted about 2 minutes, then she was finally able to move. Once she was able to move, she ran to me in the living room. After she explained what happened, she grabbed her stuff and left out the door. I didn't tell her what had happened to me the night before. But for the same thing to happen to her was enough proof that something wasn't right. I couldn't explain what was happening. First thing that came to mind was that something followed me home. After a few days all the activity stopped. Only when I would go on investigations did I see shadows in my apartment. Then it would just go away. I loved what I did and the only time I feared the paranormal was at those moments. I no longer ghost hunt and the group no longer gets together. Southwest General Hospital was purchased and is now remodeled and in use. I can only imagine what the employees of LTAC go through by being in that building. Every now and then I drive down Cotton Road and pass that building. I miss the days of being a part of GHOST El Paso. If you are ever in El Paso, after stopping at Chico's Tacos, be sure and pass by the old building by the Star on the Mountain, formerly known as Southwest General Hospital. Little did I know what else I would witness. Searching for the unexplained.